It's good to see you again. So the last time we met was, I think, grabbing a quick selfie, grabbing a quick picture at the draft in Detroit, as far as I
Yeah.
remember.
Yeah, I think that's where it
Yeah.
was. Yeah.
You are the Bengals fan of the year 2023. How has it been for you?
It's a great honor to be recognized as the fan of the year, and I appreciated all the fans who nominated me, and the Bengals picking me. It was great. We got to go to Detroit, see the draft. We got to go
Yeah,
to the
yeah.
Super Bowl, so it was great to be representing the Bengals at those events. Yeah, that's something that I can remember and share with my kids and grandkids and so forth and share the pictures and memories that we were able to generate for that. So it was awesome.
It
Yeah.
was.
Had
Yeah.
you ever been to a draft before, or was that the first one you've ever been to?
So yeah, I've been in the draft before. I think that was my fifth or sixth one that
Oh
I've
my
been at.
God, you're a
Um,
veteran.
it was a second or third time I've been in the inner circle, so that was kind of nice.
Oh my
But it was the
God.
first time, yeah, it was the first time I actually got to go behind the scenes and watch the jersey being made and having the
Yeah.
opportunity to present the jersey to our player that we drafted. In my case, unfortunately, we drafted Mims, and he was not in-house there. He was off site, so I wasn't able to come out and do that presentation, but it was still a cool experience to see how all that works.
Definitely. It was surprising how few there were, I think. I mean, I don't know what I was expecting, but there weren't actually that many players there, really, were there? Most of them were still at home or in various other places. And it was
Right.
done
I think
remotely.
it's become a thing, I think, with in the years past when you're thinking that you're gonna get drafted quickly and in the first round and you don't, I think there's more privacy if you're doing it at home or a special place at home instead of being there at the event. But we'll see how it progresses over the next few years and see if that gets any
Yeah.
better.
You guys have a lot in common that you're both big cats with makeup and stuff. So, do you use prosthetics too, or is it just makeup?
It's all face paint. Yeah, but I use a face paint and I do it all by hand with paint brushes and sponges before every game or event that I have.
Well, I can honestly say it's dedication, isn't it? Because, how long does it take you?
So that's my number one question that I get from a lot of people. So I always ask
Yeah.
them, well, how long do you think it takes me? And I get anywhere from an hour to 3 hours. And when I
Yeah.
first started, it did take me a little bit. About an hour, hour and a half when I first started, but I got it down to about 30 minutes now. I can get it on
Wow, that's good.
in 30 minutes. Yep.
Yeah, that's really good.
A
It
lot of
takes me,
detail for 30 minutes.
yeah, it
Yep.
is. It's a good, well, it's experience, isn't it? The more you do it, the more you get
It,
used to doing it,
yeah,
and then the whole process speeds up.
it's right, and it's my 14th season doing it, so
Wow.
it's been a
Wow.
minute.
Yeah. Do you
Yeah.
find that fans come looking for you, come and find you, so they must have those photographs taken with you, as we did?
Yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
that's one of the cool things, right? As super fans as we are, it's really good to represent the Bengals and to have the fan base, whether it's your team or an away team or whoever it may be. It's always good to take pictures with people, and it's a great networking
Yeah.
opportunity to
Yeah.
meet other super fans
It
like you.
is.
So as you know, we're not the only crazy ones docking on
No.
all the face paint and
No.
the outfits and stuff to support our team. So it's really good to see others and interact with them.
Yeah, and hopefully we'd both encourage others to have a go and do it themselves because there's never enough. We need more. Everybody should do it. You imagine it? It'd be great.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It's one things I like to promote is celebrate your fandom, whatever that looks like, whether it's like I am right now or what it's like
Yeah.
when I'm on game day. Whatever that is for you, be true to yourself and always just recognize how you want to be and celebrate that fandom, however that may look like.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what we're big on. We're big on like my big thing, some of these talks we've had is like there's no wrong way to fan. I mean, if you want to wear a jersey, wear a jersey.
Yeah.
If you want to wear face paint, or if you
Yeah.
just want to wear street clothes, whatever. I mean, it's like you're still a good fan, and you
That's
don't
right.
Yes.
have to do any
Yeah.
one thing.
There are no terms and conditions. There are no rules. You just be a fan and just have a good time and just, be kind and just
I
Share the
think
love.
that's the rule. The rule is be kind. I think that's the
Yep,
number
yep.
one rule.
Yeah, respect everyone. Respect
Respect.
how they
Yeah.
fan and respect the other teams. And we have a saying: you can hate the team, but love the fans. So
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. That's right.
Yeah.
Love one another, right?
that's
Yeah,
right.
I think
I
I
mean,
see myself as a fan of the fans. I mean, I love the game and I love the teams and everything, and of course the Jags. But I mean, it's just the people generally there. There's so much goodwill, so much love out there for the game and for each other. It's mostly, I mean, maybe not the Eagles fans quite as much, or the Bills mafia, but we won't go there. Let's not talk about it.
Have you
right.
had any like interesting experiences being a human cat or anything funny ever happen when you were dressed up?
Oh man, I've had a ton of experiences. I've been able to do some commercials and billboards, photo
Wow,
shoots, and app releases, and just my contributions to help with charity work, using that platform to raise money and awareness and
great.
that kind of thing. And
Yeah.
one of my pet projects that we started 3 years ago that I'm really proud of is called Tony's Tickets for Kids. And what it is basically we take donated tickets and we also raise money to buy tickets, and I'm able to take kids to their first NFL football game. So
Wow, that's
that's
nice.
something that's really true to me, and I just love that program. And seeing the kids' faces when they get to go to their first game and their first experience is
Oh,
awesome. And I'm glad to say that I've done 189 kids in 3 years, and taken them to their first game, so it's pretty awesome.
Wow.
Um,
And you
but a
meet up
funny
with them there at the
experience.
game and you meet up with them and do a meet and greet and all that.
Yeah, so they get invited to our family friendly tailgate. They come there and they have a good time. And I got a guy who makes custom chains, who's his name's Ron, and I provide him the name and their favorite player, and he makes a custom plastic chain for them that we present to them at the tailgate, that they get to wear just as another memento, for their first game experience. And then if we have the time and the ability, we get them up on our stage as well and we let them lead us in our chant, for our team, just to give them that extra experience to have that they led us in the Who Dey chant. And like I said, it's a great time, and I love it, and I hope I get to continue that effort. And then here recently, we've been having some companies and businesses help support that effort by
that's
doing
really
like
good.
proceeds for the weekend, and they'll donate that money to me, and again, it allows me to buy more tickets for kids to be able to go
That's
to the
great.
games.
That
Yeah,
must make such an impression on them to
yeah,
go to their first NFL game with a host such as yourself. That must be absolutely, yes, they'll be talking about that for the rest of their lives, I'm sure. That's a really nice thing to do. It's a great idea. It's a great idea. I
Yeah.
love
yeah,
that.
Yeah, pet
and
cause.
yeah, and then it's great that you bring that up as of an idea because I've actually been able to help the Cardinal organization, some fans there, tell them how I do it and kind of my process, and they've actually started doing it as well. And I would love to see every team
Yeah.
incorporate something like this. And if anybody's out there wanting to know how I do it or how we incorporate it, please reach out to me. I'm more than willing to share, that how that process and that platform that we use to do that. And as you know, me and you aren't we ain't gonna be able to do all this forever. So I'm
No.
looking at creating that future fan.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm creating
Yeah.
that next Tony the Tiger.
There
To
you
take over
go.
the
Yeah.
reins, so to speak. So it's a good program, and I love it.
Your team chant. And so I was like, why is a Who Dey? And I have a theory. Okay, so I haven't Googled, but here's my background with the Bengals. Okay, so my first boyfriend, okay, he was from Cincinnati, and so we would argue about football a lot because he moved in 1980 to Denver, and that's where I am from and live. So we would argue about the teams and stuff, and so he was a beer can collector, and so even though we were both only 15 or 16, he had a bunch of just every brand ever. Like he dumpster dived, and his parents got him for him or whatever. He had all these collector cans. So there was this brand in Cincinnati called Who and so the can said, and this is like 1981 or two, and the can said, Who Dey, Who Dey, Who Dey. And then on the back it said, Think gonna beat them Bengals. And so I would always go, anybody who plays them. But but that's my theory is where it's from. But I don't know if I am right or if I'm wrong.
So you are correct. So Hootapole is a local Cincinnati beer that back in the 80s, and they actually served it and they sold it at the stadium. And people would, and now the cans came out after this actually started taking off. But when they would just sell the regular Hoodoo pole, the vendors would be like, Who Dey, get your Who Dey here, that kind of thing. And it kind
Okay.
of took off from there. And then, we had there's some other theories and stuff that went around, in the early 80s, but there were some commercials that were locally happening, and they incorporated some of those commercials and the Who Dey, and they came up with this chant, and it took off in the 80s, and then they, Hoodoo Pole, marketed that, used that can, and, that kind of was born from there. And now it's actually licensed and protected by the Bengals, who
Wow.
trademarked it, and, and it's an everything thing. Like you guys have Duval, right? You guys say
Yeah.
Right.
that all the time.
Yeah.
And Who Dey for us, it could be used in so many applications just to say hello. Like
Mhm.
we could just be walking down the street and say Who Dey, and everybody's just like, hey, Who Dey, and it's just like hello to us.
Yeah.
Or
Makes
it could
sense.
mean so many things.
And it sounds like that kind of came about right when Cincinnati, I mean, there was a lot of stuff going on for the Bengals. They changed their helmets, I think in 80 or 79 or something. And because I remember just the word, Bengals.
Right,
And then the tiger was so cool when they came out with that. Everybody thought that was the coolest. And then you had Kenny Anderson, Chris Collinsworth and all
right,
that.
yep.
And so they were actually starting to get pretty good, different coaches and stuff. And so with that Who Dey thing, it sounds like it all came together.
Yep, and then it's been around ever since the early 80s. Like you said, we sing it and say it at every game and every touchdown, and we have a song that we sing afterwards that includes it all. So yeah, it's pretty phenomenal how that all started and where
Mhm.
it came from.
Is it
Yeah,
better
it's
than
really
Fly
cool.
Eagles Fly?
Anything's
I
better than
love
that.
I love everybody's chant and whatever because it means something to the team, right? Everything's
Yeah.
unique to
Yeah.
them, and Duval, I never knew what that meant, and then finally I understood it was, I guess it's the county, correct?
Hmm.
That's
Right.
right. And
Yeah,
it's something that I end up explaining uh, every time I go to a game. Certainly over here, not so much in the States, but in London, of course, there's lots of people that say, "What are they saying?" And they just ask me, and I have to explain. So it's not common knowledge over here. So we still need to work on that and get more Jaguars fans over here, and then they'll know.
Yeah.
right,
So
right,
yeah.
And
So
it was
what?
kind of perpetuated by a DJ also. And he
Yes,
still has a show on iHeartRadio. And so he kind of came up with saying that as the chant since it's a city county, type of situation. So they're very proud
right.
that they're like the biggest city in geographical miles, in the US, I guess. So it's just a point of pride. And so just yelling Duval, and it's kind of cool. Like when you're leaving a game and everybody's just Duval, like you said, chants are
yeah,
just cool.
they
Right,
are
right.
cool. Yeah. So in
Yeah.
the real world, when you're not Tony the Tiger, so what do you do?
So I am currently an operational manager at a local electric utility company. Yeah, they're a great supporter of what I do. They help me provide a platform within work, to help raise money and awareness and that kind of thing as well. So
That's really good.
it's pretty cool.
Do you ever
Do
go
they
in?
do they match donations and stuff too? Like
Yes, yep, exactly. So they have programs that they'll, if I make a donation, they'll match it up to a certain percentage. And then they also have a piece where, for every hour that I donate towards an organization, they will pay me $10 an hour. And then I can pick what organization for that money to go to, on a quarterly basis, and then they donate that money to them. And then even within the company, we have a thing where we can set up events where employees can come and help volunteer for that event. And it just helps showcase the company, but it also gives us the opportunity as employees to volunteer during normal work hours. So
Yeah.
they're great. I love working for them, and I'll stay working for them as long as they'll have me, and hopefully I get to retire from there. But it's a great company here in Cincinnati, and I
Yeah.
love working for them.
It makes such a difference having a company that fully supports you, doesn't it, really? So, and then actively participates in and assisting you. That's really, really good.
yeah, because
Yeah.
it's really almost like a full-time job. Some of the fan stuff, especially during the season, if you go to any away games, or even if you don't, I mean, just like you said, Tonying up, or for him captaining up, it takes a
Yeah.
long, it's a whole
Takes
weekend.
me. Yeah. I'm still. Yeah, still takes me a couple of hours on a, on a game day to get sorted out. So yeah. But I've got a prosthetic mask. I've got a latex mask, which that in itself can take me an hour, to get prepared and stick to my face, and it takes me an hour to get the stuff off because if I rush it, then I'll ruin the mask, lose some skin at the same time. The people that we're talking to are coming up with some great inspiring things.
I'm
So
inspired every single time we do one of these interviews. I
yeah,
really am. I'm like, oh my
the
God, these people they're
they
doing
work so
so
hard.
much.
They work
Yeah.
so hard.
Yeah. And I
You
think
know,
almost every one of them has said, just as you have said, this is sort of a platform. It's not, some people have worked at it longer than others or more than others, but everybody gets this sort of fan attention sort of thing, and using it for good is the best thing you can possibly
it
do.
is. Yeah, and especially for kids.
My man caves, everyone has one, right? Or
Yeah.
something to support their team. So I call it my tiger lair. You see here, I'll reverse the camera and maybe I'll just give you a little quick tour
Oh,
here.
wow. Yeah. Give us a tour.
So, uh, so here's my all my mini helmets that are signed
Wow.
by many of the players over the years. And then as we come down here, I got some full size helmet as well, Joe Burrow and Chase and some others. And then I got a wall here, kind of with some jerseys and other helmets.
Mm.
And I'm a big Ted Karras fan. He's a great supporter of the things that we do here as well. He's got an organization that he works with. And then, of course, I got some footballs. And then I've been a pretty avid collector of some bobbleheads. So I got
Oh,
a
Oh,
wow.
pretty good collection of bobbleheads as well. With some of that, that we do from, local Foco and that kind of thing. And then I got some
Look at your
other,
magnets. Oh my God.
yeah, I got stickers and like we were talking earlier, like with the fans and sharing networking and everyone seems to have a sticker or something. So
yeah.
I put those here on my fridge and I share the love. So every team is represented either with a super fan or their team sticker or whatever. So that's kind of cool. And then I just got some more pictures and our founder and that kind of thing. And
Wow.
then one of the cool things up here is so everyone's kind of doing a stadium tour. I got all my mini helmets up here, all the stadiums that I've been to, and me and the wife we started doing this in 2019. And as you can see, I've been to a lot of the stadiums, and we're coming down to the end where. Um, I got the Minnesota Vikings this year, so that one's turned downward until I go to it, and then I'll put it up there correctly. But after the Minnesota Vikings, I only have two more stadiums to attend. So, um,
Wow.
Wow.
So which two
so
do
it's
you
kind of
have?
so I need to get Seattle Seahawks and the Houston Texans.
Oh,
And
okay.
then,
Okay.
yep. And,
Wow.
then I've been to London. We went to London in 2019. So I grabbed that stadium as well. Do believe it was it Wimbledon?
Rams.
Yeah, it was the Rams game. That's
Yeah.
correct.
Yeah. We were at
So,
that game too. Yeah. That was really cool. Wow. That's quite a cave. And you know what? I really love the orange walls.
Yeah.
they represent the colors. So I'm a big orange and black guy.
As far as the draft goes, this year, what was your feeling? What was your favorite draft pick that the Bengals did this year? And how do you feel about their whole off season?
So, I was okay with Shamar Stewart that we picked up in the first round. We do need to concentrate on our defense. That's where we struggled last year. There's not many teams that can score above 30 points and not win games like we were. So
No.
it was definitely
No.
our defense that needed to be have attention to. So I was glad to see that they were concentrating on that. There was some drama with him if you followed him at all. He was holding out because of some contract language and that kind of thing. But now that he's in and playing, I'm pretty happy with him, and looking forward to see how he progresses over the season and into his rookie year, and hopefully he does some good things for us.
Yeah, that's really good. And did they do some good work in free agency too?
Yeah, we actually did, and again, we concentrated on defense, which was nice. But here recently, with some of the veteran free agencies that were released or whatever, we picked up some offensive linemen, which would be critical for us. we're always wanting to protect our quarterback, right? Because he's our franchise quarterback, and we need to make sure we
Yeah.
protect him. So they've done a really good job with the offseason and free agency, I think, to make sure to protect him and have some depth there because. I don't think I was a lineman, going up through high school and college, and they just don't get the credit that they deserve.
No, they're the unsung heroes, aren't they?
That's right. They get hurt and they're playing through pain, and that's why you need that depth chart. I think from the offensive line, they're the first defense. They're
Hmm.
actually in the trenches and fighting against that defense to protect our quarterback and let the play go. So
Yeah.
kudos to them for doing that as well. Joe coming out as a rookie and all the high expectations that we had for him, and him getting hurt in his rookie year, and he could have had that rookie of the year, recognition if he would have continued. And he did that against the Commanders. And it was during COVID, if I remember correctly. I don't think there was anybody there. And then the player came in, he hurt his knee and that kind of thing. So, and even every year after that, he's had unfortunately, some type of health issue that's kind of delayed his progress throughout the year. So this is really the first year, knock on wood, and I hope I'm not jinxing this or anything, that, we haven't had any issues in training camp or all season that's allowed him to be continue to work and go through the whole training camp and even preseason. He's actually played in the preseason. So we got some high expectations again for him, even though this is his fifth or sixth year, with us. So
Yeah.
his worth ethic and his community service is beyond what anybody can expect. And they actually created it's called the Joe Burrow Foundation for food insecurities as well as mental health awareness. So
Hmm.
it's a great organization that helps. And and if you go back and if you haven't seen it and you go watch his Heisman um, acceptance speech, he gets pretty emotional, and he's true to who he is and what he wants to help and support. So he is definitely a good dude.
So you go to every game, right? I mean, like you have season
Yeah,
tickets.
so I'm kind of a geek when it comes to like tracking my stuff. So
Oh,
yeah,
you're one
so
of
I keep
them.
track of everything. So, yeah, so my first game was back in '87. And that's where became this Bengal fan. And since then I've went to like 262 games since the '87. And then in 2021 we had this great idea. There was a group of us, and we were up in Canton, Ohio, actually for the enshrinement weekend. And we're all just sitting around, kind of enjoying the moment and that kind of thing. And we're like, "Hey, let's go to all the games." And we're like, "Okay, let's do it." Because the Bengals haven't been all that good, and we figured we just do the 8 or 9 games or whatever it was that season, and plus the away games. So we're like, okay, that's cool. But that was the year that we went to the playoffs, and it was one playoff after the other, and then we went to the
Oh,
championship, and sure enough, we went to the Super Bowl. And we're just like, we would have never thought this, but we went to 21 games that year as a
wow.
group. I'm like, wow, it was so much fun and such a great experience to go to the Super Bowl and just go through that whole thing. And so I've been continuing that effort ever since then. So I'm currently at 78, I think, or 70, yeah, 78 games straight, home and away. So it's
Wow.
been a lot of fun, and it's creative budgeting. I will tell you that it's
Yes.
we drive where we can, and we pile up in hotel rooms and try to share the cost where we can and that kind of thing. But it's still a lot of fun. I had to set a goal, so I set a goal for 100. So I'm at least trying to get to 100 straight. And then after that, if something was to happen or I need to miss a game, at least I've reached my goal, so to speak. So, but if I'm
Yeah.
having fun
Well, you're
and I'm
nearly
able
there.
to, I'll continue that effort.
Yeah, you're nearly there. Not
That's
that far to
amazing.
go.
I love
Yep.
going to away games too. It's so fun, especially if you Tony up, I bet you just get a
Yep.
great response and you have a lot of fun.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah, and talking about Tony up, I only missed one game not being Tony, and that was last year. It was the Steelers game. It was so cold.
Mm.
My face was completely covered. So I was like, I'm not really going to paint my face because it really does no good because I was completely covered with a ski mask and scarf and everything else. So, and I was more worried about keeping warm and not getting frostbite
Mm.
than,
No.
having a Tony on. So,
That was in Pittsburgh, or was it?
yeah, it was Pittsburgh. Yep.
Okay, I mean, there's been some cold ones in Cincinnati. I'm thinking, I can't remember the year, but I think it was either 82 or 83 or something. There was this one that was like 15 below or something. It was just horrible. So it
Yeah,
can be
yeah.
cold where you are.
Yeah, so my coldest game and experience was actually in New England, and I think it was 2 years ago. It was Christmas Eve game,
Mm.
and I had it was so I have a Santa outfit that I can wear as Tony as well, but I had like insulated bibs plus my clothes underneath those plus my Santa outfit, and I was still freezing. And I remember like our beverages when alcohol beverages we would open them and they would basically just pop up as popsicles because they were freezing instantaneous when we opened them. So it was crazy. It was crazy cold, but it was a good time still.
That's what you get when you go to every stadium.
And
And then
Yeah.
you
it's
have to
cool
go
because
down
you
to
get to
Miami and sweat.
right. So you get to see the different environments and that kind of thing. We're being told that probably
Uh,
2027 is when we'll head back to Europe again.
Oh,
oh, it's
okay.
not too far away. It's not far.
Yep.
It's not long.
Nope. Yep,
Wow.
we'll see. And I'll be looking forward to it. I enjoyed London when we went there to London. I'm a big history guy. In London, they're different than American. American always just tears down their history, and where London preserves it and rebuilds it. And so I love going to
Yeah.
London and spending the week there, and going through all that history and all that kind of stuff. So it was really nice to
Yeah.
be there.
Lots to see. Lots to see.
Yep.
Yeah. So then we're Jags are playing Bengals, obviously
Yeah.
this weekend, which is why we're talking to you. But like what do you think are going to be some of the key matchups? I mean, I'm kind of afraid of your receivers. So
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, so and it's not being biased, but I think we do have one of the best core receiving teams in the league. We got Jamar, we got
Mm.
T Higgins, and also Joseph who's an up and comer for us, and they're a great team. And as you guys know, a lot of other teams need to double team them, and they need to plan for those receivers. So that's always fun to see those matchups. And I think we got some things hidden in this year that we're going to get some other receivers involved because they're going to be open. Because a lot of people are going to be paying attention to those primary receivers. So we'll see how that
Yes.
works. So
Yeah.
I'm a big Trevor Lawrence fan.
Mm.
All the way from Clemson. I remember watching him and actually T Higgins. They were teammates together for a
Hmm.
couple years, and they did really well together. I think they had over 2,000 yards passing and receiving between them. As teammates.
Hmm.
25, 30 touchdowns in the 2 years that they were together. And there was even some speculations with T Higgins' contract this year that Trevor was actually pulling to get T Higgins to
Yeah, I heard that.
Jacksonville.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
so
That's what people
that
said.
would have
They said,
been
oh,
a
they could
cool.
reunite, when his contract wasn't, quite renewed yet, and they were
Right.
thinking about that. And it was like I was
Mm.
So
thinking
that
that would be good.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
it's always cool because like we have that relationship with Jamar Chase and Burrow from LSU,
Joe.
so and
Yeah.
they do really well together. So just imagine if that would have happened. Jacksonville could have had T Higgins and Trevor reunited and back like they were in college.
Yeah,
So
that'd be really cool. And
Well,
Trevor's,
you get into a rhythm, and there's something to be said about that, just about the rhythm between a quarterback and his favorite receiver and stuff. And it's really amazing to watch Joe work, with his receivers. And yeah, just I mean, think if you had Justin Jefferson or something on your team, it'd be
right,
incredible.
and just with Trevor, I'm sure he got his favorite receiver with Jacksonville, and as they progress, they
yeah.
build those relationships. They know each other's body language, and they know what they're going to do and their expectations. And Trevor can throw the ball in a certain location, and he knows that his receiver is going to try to make the play on the ball,
Yeah.
and
He
we're
seems
the
to be
same way.
building
So
quite a
having
relationship.
those
He's
relationships are great.
building a new relationship
Yep,
with
that's
Travis
awesome,
Hunter.
and
So yeah, it's good to see. And they both seem pretty relaxed and quite comfortable on the weekend. They had a good game. So a strong offensive line as well. And it seemed that Trevor seemed just not as stressed as we've seen him in the past, when he's just having to scramble for his life. So it'll be interesting to see. It'll be, I mean,
right,
my concern for the Jacksonville Jaguars is the defensive secondary and the safety. So, I think that's the hole and it's the gap, which could be a similar situation to the Bengals last year. No matter how many, the offense, how many points the offense is scoring, it doesn't really count if the defense are basically just being outmatched and just letting the touchdowns in. So, but we will see. We will see.
right.
Yeah. So
How's the Jacksonville's offensive line?
Yeah, better. I mean, it's looking good so far this year. I think they've done a lot of work on it. And as I say, I mean, from the preseason and the first game, it seems that they've been holding off the enemy as such. And I mean, Trevor's had it seems plenty of times just to sit there in his pocket and have the time he needs to find where that ball needs to go. He has done a few, scrambles, but it seems to be very much in his favor. His control, so I'm encouraged. So yeah, I mean the big thing for the Jacksonville most recently is losing Bigsby to the Eagles. So I don't know whether we'll feel his loss on the weekend, but I suppose we'll see.
Yeah. Speaking of running
Yep.
backs, I caught some of the game, your game last weekend, and I mean Chase Brown, oh my God, he was a fifth rounder. That's amazing.
Yeah, and this past week, we were all really surprised because our first drive was all running, and
Yeah.
Chase Brown is he's a great running back, and I really see the emphasis this year just based on our first game that they're really trying to get that running game established because over the years with Joe Burrow and our receivers, we've been a passing type team, so having that option to have a guy like Chase Brown in there to do some running, that'd be great. And then we got some RJP Ryan as well, who played for us a couple of years. He's bounced around. He went to the Broncos, Kansas City. Now he's
Kansas
back
City,
with
yeah.
us.
I
Yep,
remember.
and he's a great running back as well. So I'm looking forward to our running game, and hopefully with our additions to our offensive line, maybe we'll see that running game get established.
Yeah, I'm
Mm.
looking forward to it. It's with the Sunday ticket or Game Pass or whatever in England it's called Game Pass, but it lets you watch the game in 40. So you can watch a lot of games more than you used to be able to. So it's really cool because I was able to
Right.
I wanted to catch up and see what the Bengals had done the first week, so I watched that earlier today and I was really impressed by Chase Brown.
Yep. So
Mm.
we are too, and we hope he has an outstanding year. So we'll see what happens with that.
Just a random question. What's your favorite drink that you would have in the morning? Of course, mine is a cup of tea, ordinary hot tea. So, are you a tea drinker or do you like a cup of Joe? Or what's your favorite when you get up in the morning, what's the first thing that you'll head to?
So it's definitely a cup of Joe, yeah. So I'm a coffee drinker, so I will have that coffee, and I put a little bit of creamer. I'm not a total keep it black type of guy, so I do need a little creamer in there, but no sugar. So just a little creamer in there, and then that's what I drink in the mornings, and that's what gets me
Set you
ready
up,
for.
set you up for the day. Yeah.
That's right.
Yes, I'm
Yep.
I'm on team coffee with cream as well, no sugar, and definitely not tea because I've learned how to make a good cup of tea coming over here a lot, but no, I don't know if there is a good cup of tea.
Builder's tea. That's what I call it, essentially. Builder's tea. So yeah, it's if it's I would say sweet and strong, but I don't have any sugar in it at all anymore as well. So just
So when you have your
yeah.
tea, don't you have something else with it? What you guys call them when with your tea?
Well, no, just a little bit of milk. That's it. I mean, tea. Well, for breakfast, I might have what they're called crumpets, tea and crumpets,
Okay.
or tea and
Okay.
biscuits. I think the
There you
biscuits
go.
over here are a little different to your biscuits over there. But
Biscuits
yeah,
are just cookies, I mean, we just call them cookies, right? But
yeah.
crumpets
Yeah.
are weird too, because, people, they'll ask me, they'll say, have you had a crumpet and what is it? And I'm like, well, the closest thing is an English muffin, but it's a little different though, because it's a little more spongy than an English muffin is. It's hard to describe. You have to do butter and get it in all the little crevices. I don't really like them, honestly, but
Yeah, yeah,
they have some
yeah.
good stuff over here, but crumpets and Marmite, those aren't two good things.
Yeah. Well, each to their own. Each to
Yes,
their own.
exactly.
So how many wins then? How many wins are the Bengals going to have this year?
So it's funny you say that because at work I always do this thing every year where I print out our schedule and I put the prediction and then the actual wins or losses. So I filled mine out, of course, last week before the game, and I have us at 12-5.
Oh,
So a lot of
nice.
people that I've talked to are at 12-5, 10 or so, and then there's a couple 14 and threes. But yeah, I'm at 12-5, and we'll see what happens with that.
Well, the
Yeah.
captain also predicted 12 wins for the
12.
Jags,
Yeah,
but he predicted a loss against the Bengals.
I did. Yeah, I'll
You
let you have
did.
that one. Let you have that one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll let you have it. Well, I mean, last year the Jags started 0 and 4, so I'm just really thrilled that there's a win to start with. That makes it a lot better than
Yeah, there are
in
some
that
games
first
from the
one.
last season that we really don't want to talk about, but and that's most of them, I think, really.
And,
So
and this is
Yeah,
the first time we started 1-0 in quite a few years. So we're looking forward to seeing what happens next week, and
yeah,
maybe we can go 2-0. We'll see.
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Well,
It's just,
hopefully
as
not
I've
this
said
week,
before,
but
it's just a shame from two very good teams. It's just a shame one's got to lose. The ideal would be ideally a draw, but I know that's never going to happen. It'll be an interesting game.
the
It
Jags have
Yeah,
really,
I'm,
really
never
will.
tied in regular season. They're the only NFL team that has not ever had a tie.
Yeah.
wow.
Trivia for your next beer night.
So what are you are any thoughts on any personalities in the Jags at all that concern you at all? Apart from say field goals and things and the super leg of our kicker Cam, it's kicking that 70-yarder the other day unofficially.
Yeah, I did see the kicker. The kickers are amazing. There's this new thing this year that I found out, the K ball, right? So typically in the K ball that they use for kicking the field goals and whatnot, they are only used and manipulated during the game. But supposedly now this year they're allowing them to use those balls throughout, practice in the year, which some of the people are predicting that it's going to allow us to kick further field goals.
Oh,
So I'm kind of
Ah,
curious to see if that stat really
be
does happen
interesting.
this year. Yeah, so yeah, look it up. They call it a K ball. It's the,
okay.
the ball that they use for the kickers, and
Yeah.
supposedly there's a rule this year that allows them to use those balls more throughout the year and not just during the game, which of course softens them up and allows them to to be able to get hit harder. So we'll see what happens with that, but.
No, they're
Yeah.
not like deflated or anything, are they?
No, we're not going to have Deflate Gate. No, no, none of that
No,
kind
we're
of
not
stuff.
going to talk about yeah.
No.
But
Well,
the kickers do seem to be getting better and better every year, don't they, generally?
yeah.
So kicking further and further. But I suppose that's progression of the game,
Yeah,
as you
it's gonna
say.
it's gonna change game strategy sometimes. So, we'll just
Yeah.
have to see about that. I don't know that I mean, I don't know that they would have ever tried a 70-yarder in the regular season, honestly. So maybe it has to stay in preseason. So,
We'll see. We'll see.
Right. Yep.
yeah. Yeah, well, Tony, I mean, it's been so cool
Yeah,
talking
it's
to
been,
you
thank you.
from
Yeah.
two big cats, and I still want to see you
Yeah.
guys, go to a
Two
game
crazy
at some point
cats.
and
Yeah.
sit together
Yeah.
or something. It'd
I'll
be
have
so
to
cool.
and I'll have to get a patch or a pin to you or something just for to add to your collection. I suppose the only thing that remains is when I say goodbye on all my videos and things, I always say it in a very British way, and I'd appreciate it when we said goodbye, you said the same. And basically the word is cheerio.
A cheerio, and I appreciate you all, and thank you for having me
Thank
on.
you.
Cheerio.
So
Yeah.
cheerio.
Cheerio. Thanks,
Okay.
Cheerio.
Tony. I
Cheerio.
hope to run into you very soon.
Yeah. Another selfie together. Yeah.
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 Okay, I appreciate it. Thank you guys, and
Okay.
cheerio.
Thank you.
Thanks. Cheerio.
Cheerio. Bye.